joy, tension, anger. It's tribalistic, isn't it, watching football, and so many different emotions, I guess.
The atmosphere when you stepped into that stadium was unreal.
Before the game, everyone's nervous. You talk about your favourite players and players you don't like, and then when it starts, it's just pure nerves.
We took 15 girls out to see the Women's World Cup.
Literally, it was like emotional. When we went there, we could feel everyone's vibe. Everyone was positive.
It's the whole country getting together, being excited about our chances of winning.
Excitement, hanging on to every minute of the match, hearing usually blokes screaming through the pub windows.
I always say that sort of two things changed my life, and that's football and coming out. And not a lot of LGBT people actually have positive experiences of football.
Sometimes the way people react to football can put people off.
Looking around the stadium, I can only see one black face, that was my aim. A lot of the fans tend to be okay with the black players when they're playing well. I found when games don't quite go their way, the automatic reaction for them is to shout out a racial slur. Yeah, it's very uncomfortable. Being the only black person in a group and just hearing that around you and not having anybody else there to even kind of acknowledge it.
Those kind of interactions and experiences that you have do have a long-lasting effect on the way that you see the game and the way that you kind of want to watch the game.
For me, to see a role model like Gareth Southgate to really dig his heels in and say, no, like, I'm proud of my players to fight for equality. These are who kids watch. This is the future. These kids are not just here to play football, they're here to be role models.
Things trickle down from the top. The people at the very top, they should be the ones that are creating safe spaces for people to feel comfortable watching football in. It does sometimes feel like it's behaviour that's sometimes quite dangerous, actually.
There is that necessity and need for spaces like this.
Sometimes we talk about the big little things that make a massive difference. Having a rainbow flag outside your window, as somebody who's LGBT who walks past on a weekly basis, it's going to empower them to want to go into that venue. And I feel like Adidas has really sort of like highlighted and understood that opportunity to create something that brings people together. And I think that could be a really, really powerful thing.
Anything that screams inclusivity is major.
You know, I love being around people and I love sharing that energy, and I think football is kind of like a way for you just to have this bond that you don't need to even discuss.
Everyone comes together through just the atmosphere and that energy. It's a bilingual sport, isn't it? Like, how can I say it? It's a bilingual sport. Yeah, it's transferable.
It's worldwide.
It should be accessible, where it does at least try and cater for as many people and many communities that need it as possible.
Wherever you come from, what background you come from.
The power of football is the fact that it brings everyone together, right?
By pinning yourself within a community, within a tribe, you know, you don't feel alone, you feel like part of something.
And these are going to be the communities which, when we're talking about fans and we talk about these spaces and we're talking about bringing this change forward, these are going to be our advocates. The young people we see today, the next generations.
If you see any type of discrimination or hate in any environment when you're trying to watch the game, you need to call it out and empower yourself to feel like you can challenge people on it, because we all have the right to watch the game and we all have the right to enjoy it.
The challenge we have is creating a space for everybody. These safe spaces should encompass everything that is beautiful about the game and everything that is positive about going to watch a match for everybody.
Just sharing that collective joy, knowing that you're all there for the same reason.
I feel like the anticipation of this year's tournament, that sort of feeling of us coming home is sort of built up again.
Yeah, every time.
I don't want to say it yet. I've not played the song yet.
So I'm hoping for some good weather, plenty of banter, jokes, and potentially England doing well. Let's see.
When it comes to European football, big sort of international football, it is what the country needs to bring everybody together.
All year round, you sort of spend your time in rivalries with other mates from other teams, whether you're a Tottenham fan, Arsenal fan. And then when England plays, we're all sort of on the same side for once anyway.
Win, lose or draw, the main thing is that you can share that experience with other people.
Like you say, even if we don't win, for those 90 minutes, it was an escapism. It did take us out of whatever stresses we had, whatever work troubles, home, family, life troubles. For that moment, we were in that game.